We're back for another paddling weekend. We've got Mary and then Darrel and Jennifer Chandler has joined me, and we're going to paddle the same stretch that we did before. We'll try to do a little bit of different footage on this one and tell a little bit of a different story. But anyway, we're putting in here in Comfort. Right behind me is the I-10 bridge, and so we're unloading the kayaks here, and then Darrel and I are going to take the vehicles down to Sisterdale and park a vehicle back there, and then we'll come back up and paddle down probably about halfway this evening, camp somewhere on the river, and then we'll paddle the rest of the way tomorrow. Mary had a rough week of work, so she's anxious to get on the river and just relax and get away from it all. So as soon as we get away from the I-10 bridge, it'll be a nice relaxing trip. All right, so we're on the water. Let the adventure begin. Got my new Bending Branches paddle, carbon, 240 centimeter, carbon shaft, fiberglass composite blades. We'll see how it does compared to the old ones. It's a little bit lighter, of course. All right, so just a little bit after you put in there at Comfort, there's a little dam. Got the water falling over it. Not exactly real fun to ride. Well, it's fun, but it's just a straight drop off. And with the water level the way it is right now, the kayak got hung up on the bottom and then you just drop straight down. So then it's just a matter of riding it out and seeing if you can stay on without getting bucked. So I made it over 3 times on this one. About wore me out. All right, here we go. So with water level a lot lower than what it has been, it's a little bit more work, a little more technical paddling to get through. We're dragging bottom a little bit, and of course the line of water is typically taking us into overhanging branches and such. So a little bit more work than what we've had in the past, but still no less enjoyable. I think it's a grasshopper. Hey Mary, I found our spot. You all right? It's like weird. Nice quad right there. Oh, I got a 5-gallon thumb. Big mouth. All right, we're back at our home for the evening. Gonna unload the kayaks, rest a little bit, start a fire, get the hammocks. We're gonna have a fish fry tonight. We did catch some fish on the river, but we're gonna do kind of a faux catch and cook today. I brought trout, speckled trout that I had in the freezer. So we decided rather than catching and cleaning the bass and Guadalupe bass and perch that we caught, I just go ahead and fry up the fish that we already had in the freezer. So it's in that cooler right there. So we'll have a nice little fish fry tonight, and we'll just pretend that it's fresh caught river bass. So typically on the river, it's pretty easy to find driftwood, blow down stuff. You see, this is a lot of dry wood here. So brought a saw, but typically don't have to cut anything down. We just pick up brush, wood, whatever we need, right here off where we're camping. A lot of people have asked me about camping on the river, and so I wanted to address that. Technically, anything within the banks of the river where water touches is considered public land. And now a lot of landowners may disagree with that and may argue with you. So far, we haven't had any issues, but you can see we've got a nice little rock island here. And you see where the bank of the river is, kind of up there, and then on the other side as well. And so anything within this bank is public land, at least here in the state of Texas. So certainly check your regulations. If somebody were to question us, we would do our part, try to educate them, work with them a little bit, but certainly not worth getting shot over. If somebody were to really pitch a fit, it'd be easy enough just to move on down the river, of course depending on what time it is. So anyway, we're going to set camp here tonight and have a nice little evening. All right, so we got the hammocks up. This is the Chandler Suite. And got a couple of different hammock hanging systems here, just the regular Atlas strap type. And then this is pretty cool, and I think this comes from Kayak and Camping or Camping and Kayak or something on Amazon. And it's just a solid piece, wraps around, kind of makes a ridge line, and then you just hang the hammock from any of these little straps on there. So that's a pretty handy deal. The only problem with that is it's a little bit short. So you got to make sure you get the right trees for it. And here we have my bare butt hammock hanging. I've got a ridge line on it, and it's hanging from straps from Outdoor Vitals. These are Am Steel, and they got the strap up there. They work pretty good. Make it easily adjustable, so it works great. And then, of course, Mary wasted no time in finding the water. All right, so we did our version of a catch and cook. We caught them. I caught them. We cooked them. These are trout. These are not Guadalupe trout. These are actually speckled trout from Port O'Connor, Texas, that I caught with the help of a few of my friends. We did catch some fish today on the river, but we opted not to cook those, not to clean them and let them go. We did a catch and release. So we did a combination catch and release and a catch and cook, but it was really good. Yes, no?
Fantastic.
It was
No
excellent.
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 So far our best meal
So far.
out of all the trips that we've done, I think. So we've done brats a couple of times. We did the fajitas once, and now we have fresh, semi-fresh fried fish. I'd say this is the winner so far. Alright, so it was a great night in the hammocks. Up early this morning, Darrell is heating breakfast up, kind of slowly gathering our gear and getting everything packed up. So people have asked why I prefer a hammock over a tent, and especially for summertime camping, found that it's a lot cooler. You get a breeze that flows under the hammock, and I know Casey stayed last time we were here in a tent, and when we were on the Medina, a couple people stayed in tents and they just didn't get the airflow even through a mesh tent. So really comfortable. It was about 70, 72 degrees. It's supposed to be the low last night. We got a nice breeze coming off the water that is very cool. In fact, without a quilt, you'll get actually cold. So anyway, that's why I prefer a hammock, plus the simplicity of getting it hung up and being able to hang almost over the river, essentially over the river, while we sleep. It's awesome. All right, so we've got everything packed and loaded, ready to head back out. We're going to do one more walkthrough to make sure that we didn't leave anything and make sure we're adhering to the leave no trace. Covered up the campfire, spread out the wood, picked up all the trash, of course. We'll carry it with us. So see y'all back on the river. Best catch of the day. Darrell lost his fishing pole, but fortunately we found it. Deep hole, but kicked around a little bit and found it. Mary lost her phone. She stopped at a kind of a rapid area and got out, and then she looked down, her phone was gone. So it's in a pretty fast moving water. So we searched all around, kind of back this way, all the way back down here, thinking the flow in water might have taken it into an eddy or something. And then finally we gave it one last ditch effort. We tried to find my iPhone, but being underwater it didn't detect it. We tried to call it, of course that didn't work either. So finally we went one last ditch effort to pretty close to where she got out of the boat, and there was a deep spot there, and so I kind of reached down. Sure enough, there it was. So we were excited to have that. She's got another phone, not so worried about that, but all the cool pictures she's got on her phone, hard to recover. So I'm glad we found it.
My hero.
Hey, Jen. Nice two-piece.
Two-piece rod, not supposed to be a two-piece.
Factory break.
But I'm pretty sure on all but one or possibly two trips that we've ever done, we've either broken or lost at least a rod, if not multiple rods. So Darrell actually lost this one first, found it, and then when he sat back down, his stadium seat sat on the rod and broke it. So, but at least he can save. At least he saved the reel. Mary doing a little bit of trick kayaking. It's a nice maneuver. So right here is where Joshua Creek feeds into the Guadalupe. Cool little falls here. See the creek comes in here and the waterfall. We make this a regular stop when we come through here. Awesome.
Are you serious or are you kidding? You will not go. Okay.
It's all about the video, so I don't want you to jump.
Are you both going?
Yeah.
Ready?
Yep.
1, 2, and if you don't, I will never speak to you again. 1, 2, 3.
Is this our pee break or what?
No, this is our
Swim break.
Dad, shallow.
Wow.
Hey, I got a question. Where did y'all station off of?
We put in at Comfort.
Comfort?
Yes, sir. Alright, so that wraps up another great trip on the Guadalupe River. That's the third time we've done that little stretch, but every time has been a little bit different. And this one was considerably different because of the low water level. And of course the different people create a different dynamic as well. So we really enjoyed having Jennifer and Darrell out, and of course Mary. Missed the girls, of course. But Jeanette and I may come back next week and do it again, or find another river somewhere. The problem we run into right now is we need a little bit of rain here in the Texas Hill Country. Water flow and the water level is pretty low across most of the rivers here in the Hill Country, so it's going to be hard to find a spot that we can float without dragging bottom or having to get out and drag the kayaks a little bit. So anyway, appreciate you joining us for another adventure, and we'll look forward to seeing you on the next one.